Alex Jones is back in the news again, trying to regain custody of his kids, man. And it's quite an interesting situation. So, for anybody who doesn't necessarily know who Alex Jones is, and I, for the life of me, I don't know how the hell you don't know who Alex Jones is. Um, he is, I don't know if you would call him a journalist. I mean, his editorial standards are very questionable, but he works for a company called InfoWars. And he's also responsible for the recent situation that occurred called Pizzagate. Now, to bring you guys back up to speed on what Pizzagate is, just in case everybody doesn't know, there was a theory going around that top Democratic officials were involved with a satanic child pornography ring centered around the Comet Ping Pong, a pizza restaurant that was in or is in Washington, D.C. And he was responsible for pushing that news out of there and circling it around the HRC or the Hillary Clinton campaign. This is actually coming from the New York Times. Now, Mr. Elefante's restaurant was closed for 2 days in December after the police would arrested a man, Edgar M. Welch, a father of two in North Carolina, who they said showed up to Comet Ping Pong to investigate the claims and fired a semi-automatic rifle he had brought with him to the pizzeria. In an interview a few days after the arrest, Mr. Welch told the New York Times that he listened to Mr. Jones' show, saying that the host touches on some issues that are viable but goes off on the deep end on some things. And that's a pretty big understatement right there. Now, a little while after that, Alex had came out with a statement stating that he apologized for pushing that propaganda out there. And it's not very surprising considering the fact that at this point when you have cops getting involved and you have weapons and people nearly getting shot, Alex wants to distance himself as far away from this situation as possible since there's lawyers involved. But then there's another situation that came up recently. So we're going to go to a clip real quick and we'll come back and break it all down.
You know, I am an actor. We're all actors, but I believe in what I stand for. I'm not an actor as my main identity, but I am a talented person. And I, with my small children, would play like I was a goblin or a pirate or a superhero. And I would chase them around the house, like a grandpa plays with their kid in the yard. We all do that. You ever, with your wife or whatever, had role play? You're an actor. Does that mean you're not a real person? It's the war on knowledge, the war on intellect, the war on, like people say, oh my God, like people, I've had famous liberals come to my house and they see oil paintings I've done, or they'll pick up a piece of paper with some poetry I've written on it, and they go, oh my God, it's all fake, you're not a right-wing extremist. And I go, I was never a right-wing extremist. I'm a thinker. I'm an open person. I am who I am. I do have a Texas accent. I am from Texas. See, people think you're dumb if you're from Texas. It's ridiculous. And I'm not talking about myself, but because they have to attack who I am everywhere. And they have to misrepresent who I am and what I stand for and take everything out of context to say, like facing the crowd, like he does at the end of the movie, where he goes, I don't like any of you. I'm not really real, all this stuff. Well, that's not who I am. I am completely real, and everybody knows it. But the media is so deceptive, they'll take that clip where I said, I'm not really real, whatever, and then say I said I wasn't real. And I literally had a guy on the street yesterday prancing up to me, going, I used to be a listener, oh my God. And he was real Nelly. And he goes, you're fake now. I'm like, I don't like you now. That person was never a real listener.
I like how at the end there he had the audacity to call out the person whoever he was claiming had spoke to him as like not a real listener, even though earlier in the clip you would hear him talking about he was a thinker. Like dude, really, like you're not the only one who can think for themselves. There are other people out there who could who can make those kind of sound judgments on their own. But not only that, it's just on what planet do you encounter somebody who just like prances up to you? I don't even think the whole story is real to him to begin with. I think he just fucking making everything up. But this, if you listen to the clip, it's like this whole tap dance that he's doing around addressing whether or not he's a real character or not, and it sort of it comes off as though he's talking about like embodied, like his actual presence of himself. He's addressing them as if he's saying that people are asking whether or not he's real. Like, is the person Alex Jones in front of me, is this person really real, or am I imagining this person like standing in front of me? And nobody's making that kind of argument, man. That's fucking that's ridiculous. Nobody is saying that at all. What they're talking about is the character that is Alex Jones that you represent on the show by InfoWars. Is that person the exact same person that you are in real life? And there's an article that even brings this up actually in the Salon. So on Monday, in an effort to win sole or joint custody of his three children, Jones' lawyer defended Jones Bailey on the air ranting as a performance. He's playing a character. He is a performance artist, the lawyer said, likening judging Jones based on what he says on the air to judging Jack Nicholson based on his role as the Joker in The Batman. Now, I think this is a really, really bad comparison because, like, just like in that clip that you just got through hearing, it's very hard to tell the difference between whether or not Jones is playing a character or that is the person that he is in real life. Because in many circles, or in a broader sense, whenever you're being introduced to Alex Jones, some people will look at him as a journalist, and they are very fervent in their positions and believe in anything that he says. It is not necessarily obvious to the viewer that this person is being comical or is a fictional character. So I don't necessarily buy into the notion that this person should be likened to playing the Joker in a movie. When you're going into a movie, it's pretty much already established. It's a movie. It's a piece of art that is depicted on the screen. It's all a fictional character. There is a background, but with Alex Jones, there is no background to it. Like if you go to the Onion, the website, and some people still, for some reason, don't necessarily know this, but they say in their website that this is a satirical website. Alex Jones just does not have that sort of transparency with his people. People believe that Alex Jones, the person that is on the screen, is Alex Jones, and that he is pretty much a top-notch journalist. So I don't buy into that kind of comparison. Like, I don't wish any bad ill will on Alex Jones, man, but it just seems to be like the turning tide that's just happening with people, like with Bill O'Reilly. Then you have Alex Jones, then you have Tommy Lauren. It's just the way that things are going now. So I'm not. I used to be an Alex Jones supporter. In full disclosure, a long time ago, I fell into the Alex Jones bubble for a long time ago until I got a fucking brain. So I guess I'm also one of those people that he wouldn't have considered a real listener. But hey, we're all thinkers, man. We think for ourselves, and we found out eventually, for me and anybody else who used to be an Alex Jones listener many years ago, that we can make sound judgments on our own.